What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing great. Excuse me one second here. Just gonna get my water. My water is like my security blanket during a live show. Hope you're doing good. I'm just hanging out. Hopefully this audio doesn't sound too crazy. I was trying to dial it in a little bit more as I am just sitting on my couch in my studio in my office, and just want to talk about the journey of making 4,500 videos in 44 months is what I've kind of done the quick math and figured out. So a lot of craziness with that, with that going on. I got a little echo going on. I think it's probably in the room, so hopefully it's not coming back through the live show. But anyway, so I just want to jump on as I normally do in my impromptu fashion to just really talk about the journey to 4,500 pieces of content on the Amazon influencer platform, and then also just some tools that I use to get there. So I'm just gonna check my phone real quick and make sure everything's up and running. I hate when people do that. Like, I'm gonna look and make sure everything's live, but I don't really go live ever. I mean, I'm trying to do once a week. Try to go live at least once a week here and see what's up. So let me just see if everything is going. It looks like I'm live. Looks like I'm live right here. So very cool. All right, so that's working on YouTube. Perfect. Let's jump over, and this gives time for people to jump in as well. So, and we'll jump over to Facebook real quick and see what is going on over there. Okay, it looks like I'm live on Facebook as well. So anyway, I started this journey back in June of 2022, officially for working with like brands and sellers. So I think if you back up to 2021, that's when I technically got approved for the Amazon Influencer Program. That's when I kind of learned about the shoppable content, space and live selling space, and was kind of dipping my toe in it. And at that time, I lived where I live now, actually in Puerto Rico, and I was kind of just making some videos. I was podcasting. I was doing the thing, and then I started dipping my toes into the Amazon Influencer Program, and then from there, I did this for about 10 months. I had like 30 videos up. I was earning some money off of these videos on the Amazon platform, for about 10 months or so. And then we moved back to the States, back to North Carolina. And then that's when I started to learn about these brands who wanted, product videos for Amazon. And that's when I started the brand deal journey. And that was about that timeline was I just did the rough math with the help of Google, and it was about 44 months and some odd weeks ago. I don't know, almost 45 months ago. And so I've been on track. I don't know what the numbers are. What is that? I got 4,518 pieces of content on Amazon. So we'll say 4518 divided by 44. That's 102 pieces of content per month on average for the last 4 years or so. I don't even think it's quite been, whatever 44 months is. I don't even know. So anyway, pretty crazy. It's been a pretty wild journey, but it hasn't been just like on my own. It hasn't been with just my phone or my camera on my phone or whatever. Like, I've used a lot of really cool tools to help me be able to do this at a high pace. So what I call like a low ticket, high frequency business model. So none of this stuff is making me crazy money per deal or per transaction or per commission on Amazon. But the frequency of the game is what's keeping me, able to monetize this one deal like 4 to 5 different revenue streams per product or whatever. And so that's kind of what I wanted to share on this live show. One, I just wanted to kick my feet up. My dog has one of our dogs has not been feeling well, and so it was a long night, early morning, for my wife and for me as well. I didn't get to sleep late and then woke up early, and so I'm a little bit tired. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sit on the couch, talk about this Amazon influencer stuff even more, because it really has changed, our lives and given us some really cool opportunities to help other people to live the kind of lifestyle we want to live. And so I often tell people, I heard this said one time, I can't remember who said it on a podcast, but they said, you build a business for one of two reasons. One is either to build it and scale it and sell it, or you build it and just to live the lifestyle that you want to live. And so I think my wife and I would both agree that we've built businesses to really just create the lifestyle that we've wanted to live. And so the Amazon program was kind of funny because it was one of these things where, I wasn't really an influencer. I wasn't really in the content creation space in that influencer, role where you're making videos and UGC content and viral content. I don't think I've had maybe one piece of content in my life go viral, and it was a product that I was sent by an Amazon seller, but it wasn't for reasons I wanted it to. It was just me and my wife in the kitchen, like messing around, trying to lift up an 18-pound coffee mug. And then people on TikTok just started commentating on all the crazy, I mean, everything, countertops. Were they granite? Were they not granite? Our dog's breathing. Is he healthy? The way that he was breathing in the background. So there's so many different things, about content creation that I didn't really understand. I really didn't know, and I really didn't care about. I just thought, well, here's a problem that is going on in the industry. Let me solve the problem. So I've always kind of stood on that. I'm a entrepreneur first. I'm a content creator second. And even when I, got out of t-shirt printing in 2020 and got into podcasting, that was the mentality behind that as well. Was like um, I'm going to focus on how can I make money with content, and that was like that was the objective. Like, how do I make this my career? How do I make this my job? How do I make this my thing? And if I, read all the articles and read all the blogs and read all the things, it was like, this is impossible. Really, this is like a one in a million shot. Like, this is the same odds as some high school kid playing NFL as I do to make content creation full time. But then with the Amazon influencer program, it really allowed monetization super fast. Now I had monetized the podcast super fast, but it was because I was just a pretty decent sales guy and could, worked with somebody that was already established in the industry that we were in. And so it was just a sales conversation for a different product, so to speak. And so it wasn't like the lift was super heavy to get to a monetized podcast that way, because this person I partnered with had already been producing media in that space. And so it was just a different type of media that we were, that we were selling essentially. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be to convert people over from one type of media to another. But it wasn't like starting from ground zero, as a lot of podcasters will. And so anyway, so I got into, t-shirt printing, and then I went into podcasting, and I did that for 3 years. And one of those years I was simultaneously just watching my Amazon influencer account. And then that's when I noticed that, it had a real potential. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to dive into this and really like see what can I do? What can I accomplish? And so that was, part of that. Also, I want to say hi to Val real quick. Oh my gosh, these comments. Look at this. Great to see you. Yeah, great to see you too. Creator Camp 2026. I'm going back to Boston, baby, or Portsmouth, I guess. So yeah, I'll talk more about that later, but I'm gonna take a little sip of water. This is why I need co-host. I was gonna do the Billy with Friends again, but I kind of did this impromptu, so I didn't get a chance to invite Chrissy and Matt on. But so anyway, I get into the Amazon thing, and I'm working it, and then I get into the brand deal stuff, and I just come alive. I'm like, okay, this is my thing. Like, this is my .com era. This is my Facebook. Like before, like I was on Facebook early, but I wasn't really in a position to do anything to like really leverage Facebook or, Google or whatever, Google ads or any of that stuff. And so I kind of found like shoppable content, live selling, product videos, stuff like that was kind of it was like, oh man, this is my time to like try something that is pretty fresh. It's new. It's a new industry in the States. And how can I get in and kind of make my mark in this business? And so that's when I start. No, I'm not going to London. Valerie, no, no, no. nope. Not that one. Not that one. Doing the one in the States. So anyway, that was, that was kind of how I started in this Amazon journey. And then in the video business, really, and I've been, telling some people this recently, it's like it's a big industry. It's from like home videos to Hollywood. Like there's a lot of different, segments and little subcategories within inside of this big thing called video and video production. And I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. You're podcasting, there's movies, there's short films, there's these little mini dramas that I never even heard about, but I saw one and then I heard somebody talking about them. I'm like, what the heck is that? There's what I do with live selling and product videos. I mean, there's so many different ways to monetize content and to monetize video. And so, I think it's a big industry. There's a lot of little markets within inside of that industry. And it's really just trying to figure out, where I belonged in this market. And so when I started doing these product videos, I started to learn that there were these manufacturing companies and Amazon sellers that wanted somebody that was in the States to get their product, put it on camera, talk about it, and make these shoppable videos that people could watch and do that. So I started doing that pretty heavy, once again, 44 months ago. And I just surpassed 4,500 videos. I think I did this like a week or so ago. But I'm at like 4,518. And not all those are obviously producing, not all those are producing sales. I mean, there's no one's, you don't just put a video out there one time, especially in the product space, and it just produces forever. Maybe in a niche podcast, maybe like a fishing show, or maybe like a mental health show or something like that. But maybe that would work out. Sorry, they're doing construction downstairs. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I thought somebody was knocking on the window. So anyway, so there's that, aspect of it, of like, this isn't really like evergreen content because all this product has a shelf life. It's like, if I don't know what I got laying over here, nothing good. Well, this phone, okay, this phone, for instance, next year, this is the iPhone 17 Pro. Next year, or maybe in a few months from now, there's going to be an iPhone 18, 18 Pro. So it's always, kind of changing. Like products, majority of products have a shelf life, and they could have a shelf life for many reasons. One, maybe the product gets outdated, technology gets upgraded, whatever. Or if it's fashion, fashion goes seasonally, or, it's like probably not going to keep the same same jacket forever as a company. Maybe sales aren't where they need to be. Maybe the profit margin's not where it needs to be. Different things like that are going to kind of mess with this industry a little bit, especially the one I'm in a part of this little video industry, is because there's no shelf life that's forever for any of this product. And so that's why I'm continually, because people are like, why are you putting out 4,500 videos? Why didn't you stop at 1,000? You could probably live off 1,000 videos if you're getting paid commission, right? And I go, no, that's not how it works. And I think a lot of people think that, and those people are sad because it doesn't really work that way. So, what's up, Bradley? What's up, Bradley? Good to see you. So yeah, I'm just on here, just hanging out. Just thought I'd do, this little setup on my couch again here in my office. I kind of like this kind of relaxed feel. Oftentimes I'm just in my desk all the time, camera in my face, teleprompter in my face, and this kind of scales it back a little. Reminds me of the beginning years of podcasting, when it was just scrapping stuff together and putting things together. And that's why I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, the first 25 episodes of a podcast I ever produced, I borrowed gear. I borrowed equipment. I borrowed microphones. I borrowed a camera from my neighbor. I borrowed all that kind of stuff. So here we go. Hey, I have close to 4,000 videos, and I don't even break $50 a day now. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, right? It's like, that is, especially in this game of Amazon, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. It's like, product selection, commission payout from Amazon. Like, you don't get paid out the same commission on every product. Is there a creator connection campaign to it? What is the algorithm doing? What's the video placement? And that's why I always talk about this maybe money thing with content creation. And that's why I don't really go after like platform monetization. And I definitely don't rely on platform monetization. I try to position myself as a person who creates good quality content quickly and then the bonus is whatever the platforms pay. I'm not trying to get the attention of the platform first, and then, because they have special programs all the time, like Amazon does it, YouTube does it, Instagram does it, TikTok definitely did when they launched their live selling stuff. They would always spike the punch bowl, and then you get you hooked, and then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna crush it, I'm gonna be rich. And then they take it all away, they change it, the algorithm changes, and then you're just sit there left doing like what? Nothing. You're like crying. And we saw this just a couple weeks ago with the Amazon stuff. There was a little bit of a loophole where people could capture their same day sales, and they could go submit creator connection campaigns before the campaign, before the product shipped. And there was like this big loophole. And I mean, I'm talking people are losing thousands and thousands of dollars opportunity. And really, you could argue both sides. Like, is this fair? Is this not fair? Should I get compensated for that? Should I not? But the fact is, it was a loophole. It was something that changed, something that shifted, something that was completely out of our control. And I think a lot of people like think like, dude, how in the world have you done this for almost 5 years? So I've been in Amazon influencer program. This year in June, I think, will be my 5th year in the program. And there's a lot of people I started with that are no longer there because of all these platform changes. And, new programs come out, and new horizontal or vertical videos are popular, or live streaming was popular. And they're always just moving the target, and that's totally fine. But as a business owner first, as an entrepreneur first, my responsibility, my sole responsibility, is to generate cash flow in my business. And I can't generate cash flow of a system I don't control, or I don't control majority of. And then that's why I started doing brand deals. That's why I started, charging a small fee, but at frequency, to be able to like stabilize my revenue, stabilize my income. And that way I can have, creative control over my own business, and not just trying to always pivot when a platform would pivot. So let's jump over. Let's see. Here we go. We got some stuff going on. Maybe this is a conversation. What is up? Okay, talking to each other exactly. As long as A to Z is holding the cards, we have to flood the listings with content. Yeah, it's just that's all these platforms want. Every platform on the internet wants one thing, and one thing only, and that's our attention. And how do they get our attention? By us or someone or content creators posting content. Somebody's got to post something on there to keep our attention, to keep us on, to keep ads going in our faces and all that stuff. It's a vicious cycle that sometimes, honestly, I wish I wasn't a part of, but I never figured out anything I was physically good at enough to not, I guess I'm physically making videos, but you get what I'm saying. Let's catch up soon. Okay. How have you had to shift in your business considering what's been going on in the world right now? This is a great question, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And earlier this year, what are we in? 2026? Yeah, I think earlier this year, no wait, 2025, early 2025, there was a big tariff fiasco, right? 150% tariffs on China. Most of my business is done out of China. And so therefore I had to, one, just kind of go, well, this is it. This is over. It was good while it lasted, but even brand deals are, and nothing is guaranteed in business. And I think this is the biggest thing that people have to understand. And this is really tough for people who have worked jobs and have been, like, I come to work, I do work, I get paid. And that's like a mentality. And that is not true when you're working for yourself. It's like, I've put in a lot of work that I've never gotten paid for. Now, I feel like it's compounded over time, and I've been compensated because my skill sets have compounded, and now I can offer different services, products, or whatever, and then I get a return on my investment of the even project. There's businesses I started and failed at that I took something from that I now use in my current business. And so I think when it comes to pivoting, when it comes to shifting, there's all those things, right? There's stuff going on all over the place, political things, Markets are crazy, pipelines are getting shut down, and that's just one of those things where we really just have to step back and as people and go, how do we serve? What are the problems, and how do I help fix them? And what problem am I solving? No matter what the market is. And this is one of the best pieces of advice that someone ever told me, is they said, and I was in real estate. This is one of those failed projects that I did. Well, I wouldn't call it a failure. I would call it, just like a trial, and like I didn't enjoy it. I don't enjoy that real estate world. But I got my real estate license, and I did pretty good in the beginning. I mean, I did some deals or whatever. But one of the things that one of the guys in there said was like, "Hey, the market is the market. Period. Doesn't matter if it's up, doesn't matter if it's down, doesn't matter if it's sideways. It just doesn't matter. But what does matter is how you respond to it, and how you engage with the market. And just know there's always going to be a market. The question is not, is it good, is it bad, whatever, but it's like, how do you serve inside of that market? And so that's one of the reasons why I'm always trying to work with companies and with brands, is because if programs get shut down, I have a contact list, an email list, where I can now reach back out and go, hey, I can offer you something. I'll find another problem to solve. Is that content creation? Is that marketing? Is that graphic design? Like, out of all the skill sets I have, there's always going to be a problem that I can figure out how to solve. Or I'd like to think so anyway. Let's see here. Bradley says, your method is still the best, though. Upfront money is the way to go. A to Z money is add-on gravy on top. That's right. That's how I always try to position it. And sometimes that's really hard. And it's really hard when you are, in the business all the time. You're here, you're on these Facebook groups, you're in these conversations, you're watching these YouTube videos, because I'm always, success leaves clues. And so I'm not opposed to trying something that someone who is saying they have a lot of success doing. I'm not opposed to doing that. I'm opposed to putting my entire processes at risk for a buck that I know I don't control the sales funnel to get. And so, that's one of the things that I have to keep my horse blinders on. And this paid off huge for me when I was on Amazon. Everybody was on Amazon, and everyone was doing Amazon. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, whatever. Then there's this big incentive to do vertical videos. And what did I do? I kept my blinders on. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do vertical videos. I'm going to do horizontal videos, because I work with brands, and brands want horizontal videos. And I'm brand first, platform second, entrepreneur first, content creator second. Like, I'm going to appease the algorithm second. I'm not going to, do that. And so everybody made money up front from that thing. And everyone's like, oh, they're going to keep doing this. They're going to keep incentivizing us for this vertical content. Well, surprise, that platform that they wanted all the content made in vertical is no longer there. It didn't work. So it's like they were testing, they were investing, and they were putting money out that they're willing to lose. And some people may argue, well, I made a lot of money in a short amount of time. And I'm like, I'm still here. I'm 5 years. Where are you now? You're not here. There's people who were like arguing with me that I should be doing certain things instead of doing what I know deep down inside that I should be doing. And those people are no longer here. They're no longer in the program. They're no longer earning as to where I've been able to continue to earn over time, and double down on that. And the same thing happened when TikTok came out. TikTok came out. Everybody was like, TikTok shop, TikTok shop, TikTok shop, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. And there was like this exodus of Amazon influencers over to TikTok. And I just put my horse blinders back on and go, I'm not paying attention to that, because I have a business that I'm in more control of than chasing an algorithm, chasing, the next thing or whatever. And it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of discipline to be able to build something, trust the process, trust the system. And even recently with Amazon, there was, all these strategies that I months ago said, this is too good to be true. This is not going to work out long term. Like, this is going to change. So I'm not going to change my processes. Not that I don't want to, not that I don't, think this is sexy and want to go over there and take a look, but I'm going to keep doing my thing. Now I'll add that into it, and that way when it goes away, I'm not sad about it, and I'm not dead in the water. There's a lot of people right now are dead in the water. They're scraping at the walls trying to climb out of a whale that went dry, and it's like this is the problem that we oftentimes run into. And so, it's difficult. It's like going to the working out, or I'm doing keto right now, so I'm trying to eat low carb and high fat and moderate protein. And there's times I'm walking through the house where I just want to grab a handful of whatever I shouldn't, carbs, and just eat it. I just want to eat a loaf of bread right now. I just want to eat an entire loaf of bread. But it's where that discipline comes in. It's where that putting on those horse blinders. And I'm a high school dropout. Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, that's what I tell people all the time. Like, man, I was the worst student in school. I really couldn't retain information very well. I was a terrible student. I left early and got my GED because I just didn't want to do the hard thing. I didn't want to do the work that, now there's arguments to be made of like, well, the education system and all this stuff. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like if somebody like myself, an, in the in the classification of the world that we live in, probably a failure in a lot of ways. If I can be successful at this business, then a lot of other people can too. Is my whole point. So, yo, what's up, Eduardo? Good to see you. Let's see. That was a great call. Okay, let's see. So Bradley said that was a great call decision in the long run. Now you have thousands more usable videos than most of us. Yeah, and and not all those videos are on carousels, and not all of them are still placed, and not all of them are making money directly, but they are making money indirectly, because that is, on this live stream right now saying, hey, I just passed 4,500 videos. That's pretty impressive. That's a pretty impressive number, to do 100 product videos or 102 product videos technically on average over the last 44 months. And that wasn't me. I mean, I took months off. There was 2 or 3 months I didn't work during that period, so I could argue I made even more than that on average. But just kind of doing loose numbers in an average, then that is, like, it's impressive. It's an impressive profile. What do you think I promote to brands? I don't promote conversion rates. I'm not selling a conversion rate. I'm not in the commission sales business. I am selling quality content quickly, and I'm going, hey, here's proof that I can produce high quality content very quickly. And I've done it for years, and I can do the same for your brand. I can pick up the cell phone case, put it on my phone. I can talk about it in detail. I can do those things over and over and over and over again, and you can trust me to show up and do what I say I'm going to do. And so, I think that's, for my conversation with brands, that's my positioning. My positioning is not, I'm going to create this, super high converting content. I got all these millions of followers that are going to buy, but I'm also not charging the rates that conversation would charge either. And I'm not doing the production that conversation would charge either. So once again, I've kind of found this little niche audience, little niche product that I'm offering, for this time in the content creation space, that I can repeat over and over and over, and it's become boring. Like, imagine doing 4,500 videos, 100 videos a month. I mean, there's like, glimpses of like, oh man, that was crazy, or that's a cool product or whatever. But most of it's kind of rinse and repeat kind of stuff. I've done so many 3-in-1 chargers, I can't see straight. I could do a 3-in-1 charger right now in my sleep. Like, I dream about 3-in-1 chargers. I've done so many of them. Bluetooth speakers, headphones, it's like, once you've done 1 or 2, or definitely once you've done 10 or 100, you've done them all. It's like, you can just crush those things out. And boring businesses are the best. Anything that you can rinse and repeat over and over and over, and you don't have to pivot all the time, I think is a good business, in my opinion, and it's been good to me. So, let's see, Bradley, exactly right. You're exactly right. My original horizontal A to Z videos are still my best producers. My traditional brand deals are all horizontal. Yeah, I think that's what brands want. That's what sellers want. And if they came to me tomorrow and they go, hey, we want to do vertical, I'd do vertical. because I'm like, we're partners. You're bringing me business. It's at a frequency. You're compensating me to do the videos, and so I'm happy. I'm happy to do whatever. Like, you're my client. I have clients. Not the algorithm is not my client. I have clients, and so that's what I'm always trying to, just let people know that's an option. Now, it just depends on the strategy or whatever. But there's a couple different ways I've done this, and so this whole live stream wasn't for me to just pontificate on what I think is a good strategy for Amazon. But if you did want to do this strategy, I use a lot of cool tools to do it. And one tool I never talk about, which is so funny. I mean, I talk about it to an extent, but I never like promote it with a link or any of that stuff. But this time I think I did. I think I put the link in to a couple tools that I've used. One is Ecamm Live. So I've used Ecamm since before Amazon. I've used it during podcast when I was podcasting with my saltwater fishing show. And man, this thing has been awesome. Like, the ability to bring in multiple cameras and switch, and really people go, well, everybody can do that. Well, I think Ecamm was like one of the first, like OBS and Ecamm. And Ecamm is a Mac only software, so it was really one of the first ones that I found. That was how I found it. Was like live streaming software for Mac, multicam switching for Mac or whatever, and so I found it I think 6 years ago, and man, it's just been a game changer. So I can, do a front shot like this. I can do an overhead shot. I get a table shot. I can shoot B-roll footage on my phone or on my Osmo Pocket 3. I can just drop it right into a scene, and I can switch through all those things, and I can create what would look to be a highly produced, highly edited video in the time it takes me to make the video. And that is what I often tell people is like, I make money in the workflow. And that's why when people who've been in the game for a while and they're like what I would call like seasoned influencers or UGC content creators, they start freaking out because they're like, you're ruining the industry. You're not charging enough rates and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, you just haven't found the right workflow to serve the industry at the most common rates that they're willing to pay. Because it's not how much do you sell something for. I could say all day, yeah, I sell this video for $1,000. Who cares what you price it for? Anybody can price anything for anything, right? I keep picking up my phone. I can price the cell phone case for $8,000, but doesn't mean the market's going to pay $8,000 for the cell phone case. And so, and I might get lucky and sell one cell phone case at $8,000 one time out of 10 years. But what is the thing that you can do consistently over and over and over and over and over? So I just kind of view it as like, this is the Starbucks of video. And I'm the Starbucks of video. I can do low tick and high frequency. I can do it super quick, and I can get that workflow down and make money in that workflow. And if I did, $10, $50 videos per day, just do the math. I just tell everybody, just do the math. Who cares? Like, do $10, $25 videos a day. I've done 35 $20 videos in one day. Do the math. Actually, when I say one day, I mean 2 hours. So it's like, do the math. And there's only one number I care about, and that's the number at the end of the year is when I get to the end of the year. I'm like, what did that number do? What is the profit of this year? So big number minus all my expenses and deductions and all that fun stuff. What am I left with? That's all I care about. Now I look at it monthly and weekly and all that stuff too, but I'm not too nervous about what is the per deal, price. I'm worried about what is the big number at the end of the year. Like, what am I trying to, did I hit that number or not? The number that I'm trying to go for, did I hit that number or not? Oh, yo, what's up, Matt Haas? What's up? I am live. Yes, I am. Workflow. Now you're speaking my language. Yes, workflow. Hey, what's up, Laura? Good to see you on here. Awesome. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, I always tell people, like, I make money in my workflow, not in the brand deal, not on Amazon. It's always in the workflow. Like, today I made, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 videos, I think, 4 videos. Didn't take me any time. To make 4 videos because of the software I use, because of the process I've used. Now, I do want to just pause here a second, and I realize, and my wife tells me this all the time, like, you make it sound so easy, but getting on camera, hitting record, and doing everything in one take is a skill that not everyone has. And I completely agree with that. And it's not even a skill that I have. Like there's times when, if I know a product and I know it well, or if it's a familiar product, like the 3-in-1 chargers I was talking about earlier, then sure, I can bang those out in one take, no problem. I get most stuff in two takes, but most of the time I screw up in the first 30 seconds of the video, and then I just stop and then I shoot the whole thing the second time. I don't do any editing. I never put anything into an editing suite. I don't take it the ums, the ahs, and all that stuff. I don't really care personally. This is just me. I'm not here to create Hollywood production videos. I'm not getting paid enough per brand deal to put that into an editing suite. So therefore, I'm just cranking out content as quickly as I can, and I am reinvesting into equipment, audio, video, lights. I want stuff to look and sound good, and I'm trying to do more work on the upfront than I do in post. So pre-production is big for me, post-production not so much. But even still, yeah, I probably average somewhere between, I'd say, 7 to 10 minutes per video, front to back if I'm like super focused. Now, I will say, being someone who is diagnosed with ADHD before it was cool, I'm like 1993 ADHD. That was when people like look at you weird. Now they give you like oh, good for you, whatever. So anyway, good to see you, Leslie. I see Leslie jumping in here. Love when people say hi to each other in the comments. So much fun. Really great community and a lot of e-cammers, a lot of content creators. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, just kicked my camera stand, but and that's part of it too. It's like I'm in my office. I got my one of my Sony ZV-E10s. I just brought it into this space, and it feels fun. Like if you haven't done that, if you are nerdy, techie, Matt, you should do this. You should, which you maybe did this with your Amazon Studio. Well, it's like go down to the basics, man. Get back to the one camera, and which I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, most people are probably like, wait, what? This is not basic. What are you talking about? But anyway, it does feel like the old days. Well, let's see. I don't know if I have any other things or not. So, the other couple things I was going to talk about real quick is, so I use two main softwares right now. One, I use I use three really. I use Ecamm Live. I use Pinnacle.ai, which is my CRM, which is like a go high level agency. And so it's kind of like, it's probably overkill for what I do, but I do use quite a bit of it. So so that's really important to me. And then OINK. So OINK is like a Amazon influencer extension for Chrome, and it does a lot of different things. And it's been very, 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 very helpful, especially in the last year or so, as the program has changed and kind of opened up a little bit more for additional monetization opportunities. So one camera, shut your mouth. Oh man, I know. I was actually thinking like I should hook up my Osmo Pocket 3 just to have a different angle if I wanted to switch cameras. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun just to get, I got my laptop, my one camera, my one microphone plugged in. It kind of takes all the noise away. It's a little intimidating, actually. It's a little tough. Talk OINK. I've been viral view, but I don't really know the difference between the two. And Eduardo, I'll get back to you in just a second. But I don't really know the difference. Like viral view. I heard about viral view first. I think they've been around for a while, but it was more like product research. It was more like, oh gosh, what's Liz Saunders' platform? What was her Fluencer Fruit? So I think it was more something in that realm. And that was, once again, in the early days, viral view, and probably still is like more focused on like the maybe money stuff. It's like, product selection and doing a ton of product research and all this stuff. And I just don't care. I just don't have time. Like, I'm not a data analyst. Like, I'm not going to go through and try to figure out like what's the best potential product that I can purchase. And so early on, that was kind of what they were doing more of. Now I think they've, more management tools and all this stuff, and they've, evolved quite a bit. I think I went with OINK for a couple reasons. One, it processed my creator connection stuff a lot faster because I have so many videos. I had both at the same time, and I would test one. And there's just some way that Viral View does the campaign selection, and it's like way slow for the amount of videos I have. And then OINK was like super quick and kind of got to the point, and it picked out the best campaign with the longest amount of time left on it. And so it didn't go through whatever other processes Viral View did. And so it was like way faster for me. And then also it was like a fraction of the price. I mean, not a fraction, but it was like quite a bit cheaper back then. I don't know the prices now, but it was quite a bit cheaper. So I was like, okay, that for what I'm doing, I'm just trying to create, creator connections to my content. That connection point was all I needed. I don't really use any of those tools for like management or any of that stuff. Like I don't. Maybe I use OINK's Agent OINK, so they have like this Agent OINK feature that does. I don't really know what it does actually. It just I push the button and it spits out a list of products that I might be potentially interested in reaching out to the brand. And so I've used that just because I'm testing a strategy and been testing since July or January rather. And so I've been testing like a whole nother thing that I'm been working on. So anyhow, that's what I've been using that for. It's just like product pipeline for collaboration deals, and really like kind of lead gen stuff. So anyway, that's what and once again, they both probably do very similar things. It just depends on what you want to do. I don't care if my product's on a carousel or not. Like, who cares? I can't control that. It's not like, oh, it's not on there. Let me push this button. Now it's on there. It's like it doesn't matter if it's on there because that's the maybe part, right? It's like the only button I control with Amazon is the upload button. Whatever happens after that happens. So once again, I can't really spend time analyzing all this data that I can't do anything with. And I just hate doing that anyway. So, all right, let me jump back up here real quick to Eduardo. It says, my biggest problem is I don't have an area. I need to set up everything each time. Maybe batch videos is my best option. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best option for you. I mean, I tell people this in the content or in the podcasting space as well. It's like, figure out how do you if you're going to plan a day of production, like you got to have a system. You just have to have, where's like in my office, for instance, I have a shelf where everything goes when it comes in, and it's prioritized like oldest stuff up at the top, newest stuff at the bottom. So it just goes whatever comes in first gets done first. There is a place now where I put like paid collaborations. So paid collaborations take the priority over everything, and then all the other stuff kind of goes down the shelf. And then once I grab that product, and I'm not taking it out of the box. I can't tell you how many people I see pictures where they're like, I'm ready for production day, whatever, and they got crap all over the place, out of the box, pieces and parts to everything just laying everywhere. And I'm like, what in the world? I keep everything in the box or the packaging that came in. Then I take it out right before I'm going to shoot the video. And I have all the information I need. So, if I need to shoot like B-roll video or something like that, like if I have like car accessories or something, I'll put all that in the same area. I'll put it all in a box. I'll take it down to my car. I'll shoot all the B-roll footage if I need to shoot B-roll footage. So there's like some exceptions to this, but for the most part, it goes on that shelf. I take it off. I take it out of the packaging. I do whatever I need to do to prep for the video. I shoot the video. I put it all back in the packaging, put it back in the box, and then I make a decision right there. Am I going to keep this or am I going to kick it? Am I going to keep it or sell it? Am I going to get rid of it? Going to give it away? Going to donate it? Whatever. I make that decision, and then I put it in the pile of like sell it, give it away, do whatever. I have a system for all of this stuff, and that's why I can move through 102 products a month on average, and probably could do more, but I feel like that 100 products a month for me is like pretty good. But yeah, you definitely gotta have a system, no matter if you're setting up every time or whatever. I mean, that could be, it could just be like storage totes where it's like, okay, this is a tote that new stuff goes in. This is stuff that I got to sell or whatever. So, I used to see you in the Viral View chat, and I was surprised to see you in there. Yeah, I mean, I was a Viral View customer for a while, for several months, just trying to figure out, what the which I if Viral View came out with stuff I would use, I would use it. I'm not. I don't really do the like us versus them or this camp or that camp or this software or that software. I'm like, do I have a problem? And who solves the problem? Like that's who I'm paying, and who solves the problem. That's all I care about. So if their software solves the problem, great, I'll buy it. If OINK right now OINK is solving all my problems, I haven't found a problem that they can't solve. So that is, that's kind of how I look. I mean, it's a business to me. It's not anything. I mean, not that you're Leslie, not that you're saying like it's an emotional thing, but I have seen people get like sideways about, well, Fizz does this, well, Kate does that. I'm like, I don't care. I like both those people. I'm like, good for you guys. You're making money. You're a business. Good for you. Like, I don't care. And if I could develop software, I'd be in there competing with them because I have had a ton of software ideas. I just don't have the wherewithal to build those ideas. And then also after kind of just witnessing the heavy customer service side of software, I'm just like, whew, I'm glad I don't know how to build software. I wouldn't do good because I would not be great at customer service. I don't think, not to that level. I mean, I see all kinds of stuff in those groups. I'm like, what? Oh, let's see. I need to sell more products than I receive. That's some goals. Wait, you need to sell more than you receive? You need to you need to sell the same amount. You don't want to be buying products, do you? I only sell products I receive. Now I know what you're saying, because Matt does have a big back catalog of them. I don't know, Matt. Do a live sell and whatnot. See what you come up with. This is my Viral View annual membership is up next month, so I'm trying to decide. Planning on downloading OINK in the next couple days to test it out. I'm not analytical with my stuff either. I'm like you. I don't. I'm only analytical about stuff that I can control. I'm analytical about where my keyboard placement is on my desk and how fast I can move it out of my way to shoot the next product video. I'm analytical about my sales process, about the conversations I'm having, about the offers that I'm making, about my close rate on brand deals. I'm analytical about all those things because that's where my bread and butter is. That's where I want my business to be focused. I can't control placement on carousels. I don't even know why that's a feature of any software, to be honest. It's like, maybe I'm missing something, but I'm like, there's no, but I mean, as long as the product is tagged in the video, which I have a lot of videos that don't have products tagged in them. I mean, I'm talking a lot of videos, probably, I don't even know how many, but I think the last time I looked, it was like 1,900 or 2,000 out of 4,500, just because those products have shelf lives. And so if I was going to spend my time doing any of that, I would probably focus on fixing those, or which, once again, it's kind of like, how do you fix that? Like if the product is no longer selling, if it's no longer active. I mean, the only thing is maybe you get lucky, they switch the ASIN, they switch the listing, and then you can fix it that way, I guess. But I haven't looked into it that heavy. So yeah, Matt, you got a backlog, dude. Sell it to me and bring it down here on a boat. Oh man. All right. I think I've been going for almost 50 minutes here, so appreciate everybody jumping in and just hanging out. I should plan these live shows better. Maybe next week I'll plan one. And probably, I know Wednesday nights seems like not the best night to do a live show, but it's the best night for me because I get to sleep in on Thursday morning because my wife is not going to the gym at the crack of dawn. So, what else we got? We got anything else? I think that was it. So yeah, go check out Ecamm Live if you're a Mac user and you're like, hey, how do you create all your videos? That is it. I use 2 to 3 cameras. Actually, yeah, 2 to 3 cameras, and then I produce everything with Ecamm, and it is so crazy fast. And Matt does that. Matt does that as well. I think he probably still edits because he's a perfectionist, but Uh, Matt still makes good. Matt's my best worst student. He still makes a lot of money though. So, um, he's usually on these live shows. He might come on next week, I guess. But anyway, all right. Well, I'm gonna jump off here. It was fun, and if you're watching on YouTube and you like this type of stuff, hit that follow button. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer as I can. And then if you want to join my group, I do have a Facebook group now. We just switched over to back to Facebook, and so you can go to billythorpe.live and you can check that out. And then if you get in there and you're like, man, I really want to take this brand deal stuff to the next level. And if you're really focused on it, like if this is like your thing that you're either doing majority of the time or you want to move into full time, then, if you want to get serious about it, I do offer asynchronous coaching, one-on-one coaching, like you have basically unlimited access where you can send me a message, video, audio, or text, and then I can respond to you pretty quickly. So I do help people do that. It's mostly, I've seen the best success happen with people who are like super focused on this, and this is more, they have more time to put into it because the strategies and the methods I teach are not, this is not going to be for everybody. It's not just pushing buttons on software and products showing up and all that stuff. It's a business. It's negotiation. It's building streams of revenue, not just hoping you get paid after you upload videos. So anyway, that's my sales pitch to you. I'm horrible at sales pitching, but if you're interested in that kind of access, that's where I really help you. And I've been helping people with everything from setting up cameras and lights and switching software and like Ecamm to their pitches. Like, what do you say in a pitch? How do you close more deals? Why are these deals not closing? What's the expectation here? What does this email mean? I mean, I've been down into the nitty gritty with all this kind of stuff. And so that would be an option for some people. And that's kind of like not anybody can just sign up and join. We'll kind of walk through it, talk about it a little bit, because having access to me like that takes a lot of my energy. So I want to make sure the right people are in there. And so, right now it would be people who have full access to the Amazon Influencer Program. So you are approved for the program, you have on-site placement, and you've been making videos already. It's a lot easier for me to come in and help you from that place, not like, hey, I'm a beginner and I've never shot a video. Like, I'm just not going to be patient enough for that, just to be real honest. And I can refer you to other people who are very patient and they work with people like that all the time. I'm really looking for like hey, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, baby. All right, I better stop. This is what happens when you're tired and get like 4 hours of sleep. But I'm looking for people who are like super motivated. Like, yeah, I can take this. I can make investments into this. Not one, make an investment to be a part of my group, but then two, like actually show up and invest the time, the energy, the effort to get results. So super good stuff. Okay, what's up, Chrissy? Good to see you. Chrissy, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Chrissy is back from vacation. She joined us the night before she left for vacation. Her and Matt jumped on the last live show I did. So if you guys didn't check that out, go to the live section on my YouTube channel, or maybe you can scroll back through Facebook if you're watching there, and you can watch that. We had a lot of fun. A lot of fun with that. So, and we're going to do some more of those, but I know Chrissy just got back from vacation, has been under the weather, and then I got to find the day that works for me, which I think Wednesday nights are going to be the best. Because I don't have to wake up early tomorrow. But anyway, all right, cool. I'll talk to you guys later. Now on my super simple setup, I got to figure out how to get out of here. All right, see ya.